This stack over here on the right is about $10,000 worth of silver, and this little pile of gold coins on the left is about $10,000 worth of gold. Now, if you had to throw one of these piles into your pocket and make a run for it, I think it's pretty obvious to see which one would be the better choice. But that's not what today's video is about. This video is talking about why you should never spend $10,000 on gold or silver at once. All right, let's go. Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Wow, $10,000 seems like a lot of money. I'll probably never even have the opportunity to spend that much at once on gold or silver. And others are thinking, if I just take a small portion of my retirement account and diversify that into precious metals, I could easily spend $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 at once. Well, the bottom line is, with inflation and the price of everything going up, $10,000 might not be that much money in just a few years. I mean, let's be real. Back in the 60s, $10,000 could get you a lot more than it could get you today. I mean, you can't even buy a new car for $10,000 anymore, for crying out loud. But regardless of why you have $10,000 to spend on precious metals, let's just say for the sake of the video that you get a large inheritance or you win the lottery or what have you, and you have 10 grand in cash, you go down to your local coin shop and you want to pick up some precious metals. I'm telling you right now, you should definitely not spend $10,000 at once, whether it be on a single transaction or multiple transactions within a few days of each other. And the reason you don't want to spend $10,000 at once is actually the same reason that you do not want a central bank digital currency to exist. It's because of prying eyes. When it comes to purchasing precious metals, you really want to keep it as private as possible.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
And one person you really want to keep this from, if you can, is Uncle Sam. You don't want the government looking at all of your transactions, right? And if you purchase $10,000 or more in a single transaction, or even in multiple transactions over a few days, this is going to send a little red flag right over to the IRS. And let's be real, you never want to give them more information than you absolutely have to, especially information that you're purchasing precious metals, because who knows what the future will hold. Now, the largest single precious metals purchase that I personally have ever made was $9,999.99. And if I had spent just 1 penny more, then I or the bullion dealer or the bank would have had to fill out the IRS form 8300. Now, what is this form? Why does it exist? And how can you get around filling out this form? All right, here we are on the SD Bullion website. And before we get into this blog post talking about the reporting requirements, first I want to mention that they do have a giveaway going on right now. You can see that on the right-hand side of your screen. You could win 500 American Silver Eagles. That's an entire monster box. It's worth quite a bit of money, and it would be awesome if one of you actually won, so make sure you enter that giveaway. There will be a link down below in the description. Best of luck. Now, this blog post actually says gold reporting on cash and cash equivalent payments. However, this is talking about all types of bullion, right? So gold, silver, platinum, palladium, it doesn't matter. It's all subject to the reporting requirements. So it says IRS Form 8300 reports cash transactions over $10,000 US on a single transaction or from a series of related transactions, like multiple comparable orders placed within a short time frame. And then they define cash. So cash is a cashier's check, money order, bank draft, or traveler's check having a face value of $10,000 or less that is used for payment for goods and services, or U.S. and foreign coin and currency received in any transaction. So this would be like actual cash, like $100 bills. Cash does not include personal checks, bank wires, credit debit card, PayPal, ACH transfers, and Bitcoin/cryptocurrency. Now, if you pay with one of these methods down here, this does not mean that the form is not going to get filled out. It just means that SD Bullion is not going to be filling out the form. It will be the bank, right? So if you pay with the bank wire, then your bank will fill out the form. Same with PayPal, ACH transfer, all that stuff. Bitcoin, it's not like you can just mail SD Bullion a thumb drive with some Bitcoin and cold storage and they're going to take it as payment. That's not how Bitcoin works when you're buying on these online, websites. You're going to have to use one of your exchanges that has all your information, right? So like crypto.com or, there's a lot of them out there, but you have to give them your driver's license and your social security and all that stuff when you sign up. So they have all your information and they're going to use it to fill out this form. Now, the reason that this form exists, they have it listed down here for bullion buying and selling privacy statutes. There are specific IRS reporting requirement rules which bullion dealers in the USA must comply. Reporting rules when buying bullion trace their roots to anti-money laundering laws. So the reason that this exists is because of money laundering. And there actually was a US gold refinery that got in big trouble for not following these laws. Now, this was back in 2018, and it was the refinery Elemental that got in huge trouble for not following the appropriate laws. They were actually purchasing illegally refined gold. They were like smuggling it in and refining it down, and they got in really big trouble. But even small coin shops can get in big trouble and pay huge fines if they're not filling out the IRS Form 8300. Let's take a look at that. Under penalties for failure to file Form 8300, check this out. Deliberately failing to file the form carries a much higher financial cost. The IRS imposes a penalty of $25,000 or the actual amount of the transaction up to $100,000 for each occurrence, whichever is greater. There is no annual limit for intentionally failing to file Form 8300. So you can bet your bottom dollar if you're taking cash into a coin shop and making a really large transaction, $10,000 or greater, they're definitely going to be filling out these forms. And what type of information goes on these forms? If we just look at part 1, this is going to be all of your information that gets put down. Obviously, they're going to put all of their information, your method of payment, what you bought, all that kind of stuff. But from you, they're going to put down your last name, first name, middle initial, your social security number, your address, so exactly where you live, your birthday, your occupation, copy of your ID, all of that kind of stuff. It's going to go right to the IRS saying, hey, this person is purchasing gold and silver. Keep tabs on this person. Maybe they're trying to launder money or whatever. But the bottom line is they're going to know that you are interested in purchasing precious metals. So how exactly do you make sure that this form is never filled out with your information on it? Well, you just simply never make a transaction that's over $10,000. You don't do it.
Always with you, it cannot be done.
$9,999.99 is the most you can ever pay at once for precious metals. Period. That should be your rule, just like it's my rule. But the other thing too is I don't really recommend making large transactions anyway. You should buy a little bit this week, a little bit next week, a little bit the week after that, and just dollar cost average over a period of time. I think that's a much better strategy. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, why does it even matter if the IRS knows what I'm buying? I mean, who cares? They probably already know anyway, right? Well, they actually don't know what you're buying if you use cash. Lots of people like to remain anonymous with their purchases. If you go to a local coin shop, for example, you walk in with cash, you walk out with precious metals, no one will ever know that you made a purchase, right? And that's the way it should be. You should be able to live your life and buy the things you want to buy and not have prying eyes on every single one of your purchases. There's nothing more that the government hates than purchases that they cannot track, they cannot trace, and they cannot tax, right? That's the bottom line. That's why they're trying to come out with a central bank digital currency in the future, so they know every single thing that you're buying, and they can, stop you from buying certain things and all that kind of stuff. I made videos about that in the past. It's really scary. And if you're one of those people that they know owns a lot of precious metals, I'm not saying that they're going to come after you in the future, but you just never know what's going to happen.
Where am I?
The pit of despair. Don't even think.
Don't even think about trying to escape. The chains are far too thick.
So I say just play it safe, remain as anonymous as you possibly can, and don't make any large purchases. I hope this video was helpful to someone out there. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. I want to say a massive thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.